our relationships on this earth are based on our ego level, and even the word which we call I love you is heavily ego based. So in our family, when we tell our mother and father that we love them, that also is ego based, because time will come and say, Mom, you're out of fashion, okay? I can't live in this house anymore, Dad, come on, come on. So that kind of thing, because it is ego based, and all ego based relationships are based on fear. And fear has many components. One of the components of fear is losing control of this relationship, so I must dominate it. Or fear that I may not be accepted, so I have to do something to accept. So your brother or sister says, this is a nice horse I'm riding. She or he is ready to accept whatever I do, because she believes greatly in the family. So I'm going to take advantage like crazy. It may not be verbalized, it may not be this, but there it builds up right over there. So Jesus is saying the true relationship is not ego-based, which is based on fear, but it's a soul-based, which is based on love. So he says, if you're having a relationship, let us base it on this, not on this. It's very difficult for us again to accept the truth that our love is based on fear, the ego type of love. Let me take another example. Though it is like so-called, it looks inhuman, don't we all, or some of us, I know, I'll tell you the story. So I was a young priest in a not in a mission, but in a city parish in India. And there were two girls. One girl was studying in a nearby girls' school that was run by the Salesian sisters. The other girl was at home because she had finished her high school. Their father had disappeared somewhere. Their mom was looking after them. The mom, when the daughter came from school, she found her mom hanging from the roof with a rope around her neck. And all that girl was saying, the younger girl who came from school, all that she was saying is all the time, you purposely left us. You purposely left us. You didn't like us. You didn't like us. Did you have to go the way you did? Now we have a bad name for the rest of our life. So I reflected in myself, is this something that happens in every tragedy, that those who are left to carry the weight of the tragedy simply feel, why the hell I had a mother? You long time ago, I knew you were going to do this. On the funeral day, she's saying. And I knew you would leave us. And I have come across hundreds of people, including myself, in some way believe that their parents abandoned them. Perceived belief. It may not be true. If you ask a parent, they'll say, we loved, and I know my mom loved me anyway, but I perceived it as having been abandoned for years together. So these people, imagine, so we somehow, so the fear is, if it is ego-based, the fear is what? I hope I'm not being abandoned, so I'll please my mom. I'll please my dad, otherwise they will abandon me, they will withdraw their love, they will withdraw their affection, and then without their love and without the affection, who am I? I am nobody. Sometimes the dad leaves and goes away, sometimes the mom dies or something like that, and they say, I knew that they didn't like me, so my father disappeared and my mother also died early. So this is ego-based, it is based on fear. And this is what Jesus is saying. Don't have any relationship that is based on fear. Fear of losing someone. is love therefore? One of the aspects of love. Wishing the perfect good for the one whom you love. Not the other way around. You ask anybody, you getting married? Oh yeah. Why? He's so cute. So he's going to give me something. That is why I'm getting married. Then I say, but what have you to offer? I don't know. Maybe he knows what I have to offer. So it goes. So she doesn't know what she has to offer, but she knows what she's getting from him. And if I ask him in the marriage, we take them privately and we ask, I say, what do you have, what do you want, what are you getting from this marriage? Oh, she's so beautiful. She's a good. She's got a good job and she's very responsible. So what are you bringing to the table? They never even thought. So when my niece got married, I said, I want you both to sit down. Sit down not as fiancé and don't sit down as lovers. Sit down as two business people. You do your love outside this story and then sit down. I am offering this to you. Make a list and sincerely offer that. Now tell me, what are you offering? Then he said, I am offering this to you. Tell me what you're offering. And then maybe they'll tear the paper and throw it out. But at least they have gone through, I'm entering into this marriage to offer something to this man. Otherwise, I'm not going to enter. If I have nothing to offer, I'm not going to enter. So let me think, what is it I'm bringing to the table? So love means wishing the good of the other at all cost. So now, because all of us have a great thirst for love, imagine. So here you have this computer. It is working, but it is plugged in there. I have this camera. It is working because it is plugged in here. Suppose it was plugged. I take it out and I plug it here. Am I not crazy? And I hope that some electricity goes there. And I take it out. It's not going. So let me try somewhere else. So I love this man, but I'm going nowhere. Let's divorce this guy and plug somewhere else. I love this woman, but no juice. Let's divorce her. It makes no sense. And then I love this baby, but this baby is always crying and making the diapers messy. Out! Can we see? All our lives we go on trying to put the plug in the wrong outlet. Only when you put it in the right one does the juice of life flow in you. So how long are all of us going to put the plug into this person or that person, into this situation or that situation? And always say, when I do this, and if I do this, and but I do this, and but, and we plug in and plug in and plug in, and so we get our whole life stressed out trying to plug in the right plug to get the wrong thing. The easiest thing is, you guys who have come for the spirituality course, is to find out which of these things have got the power to enlighten your life and enlighten the light bulb in you. Till that time, you will walk in darkness. And for that, Christ told us, I am the light of the world. If you follow me, you will walk in the light. And you and I have followed so many donkeys all our lives. So many gurus, so many priests, so many, but you have never heard Christ saying, I am the light of the world, and if you follow me, you'll never walk in darkness. When are we going to start believing that? Or when are we trying to say, I've made a million mistakes. I'm going to stop making these mistakes, and now I'm going to put my plug-in for love to God. He's the only one who's got the right AC/DC current. He's the one who's got the proper voltage and wattage and amps and all those things he's got. And only that can flow into me. I have decided, therefore, to plug myself out of fear-based relationship, into a relationship of pure love. And so then the healing will start. How many times, because of this putting the plug in the wrong place, so we are putting the plug in the wrong place, so here we are, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and as we put it in the wrong place, the anger slowly mounts because the current is not coming. The frustration slowly mounts, and the other person comes to know, come on, you're not loving me enough. You're not loving me enough. I can't bear to stay with you. So the stress and the frustration and the annoyance and the disappointment, it balloons, 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 balloons. And I know, because I'm also living in a family of people where after a certain age, say the children are grown up, they are gone to college, and the couple is alone at home, it begins a process of two bricks living together without any love. Ask yourselves, if you might have seen some family members, you might have noticed it in your own life and this and that. What to do, Father, now? We can't divorce, we are older children and that, I'm just passing my days. And they refuse to say, yeah, but how long are you going to pass your days? Till that guy dies? Or till you die? Can you see now, life becomes a waiting for death. All because you plugged in the wrong and did not have the guts to plug into the right plug, so you can get the full enlightenment process going on in your life. So wouldn't it be great, therefore, for us today to decide that, so Jesus says, I am the light of the world. He who follows me will never walk in darkness, will always walk in the light. Now go to the next point. And if you do that, what are the rewards? Single reward he points out. If you do that, if you plug into the right spot and you follow that and you give your life to that, whoever follows me, follows the light of the world that I am, will never walk in darkness. By doing that, what reward do we get? You know what? He tells us beautifully, now you are the light of the world. Try to get your head on that. You were born to be the light of the world, but you cannot be the light of the world till you plug yourself into the real light. So, for example, this light cannot be the light unless it is plugged to the real light. So, you're that light. If you're not plugged to the real light, there is no wattage or amperes or anything flowing. It is dark, like the lights in the other room. But you put on the switch, because it is plugged, the lights glow. Then this becomes the light of the world. That is not to be seen at all. But this cannot operate without that. Are you therefore ready to come to your senses and say, I'm going to be the light of the world, and this is how I'll do it. I plug myself into the right socket. The right socket is Jesus the Christ. The right socket is God. The right socket is the source of my life. And therefore, are we constantly to be awakened to the fact, now especially you are in this, the first 6 months of this spirituality course, are you therefore ready to be aware and more in your heart and soul to tell yourself, I think I'm plugged into fear. Beautiful. Beautiful. Because once you are aware that you are plugged into fear, then you are taking off the plug. Maybe you don't know where to put it, but at least you're taking off that plug in where you're plugged into fear. And so neither fear is there. Now neither, you enter into a phase where there is neither fear, there is neither love, and you're feeling, and this is called a feeling of entropy. Entropy is a feeling where between something being destroyed and a new thing being built, there is a lot of uneasiness. So example, you are selling the house, and between the time of selling the house and buying a new house, it's a period of entropy. You will feel, I don't know, when will this get over? When will the plumber come? When will the roofer come? When will the painter come? When will this come? When I have to go and shop for the bed, and I have to go and shop. So that is all a period of entropy. So when you plug out from fear, you will enter into this period of entropy. You'll feel yourself empty. You'll feel yourself, this is not what, and you feel yourself disoriented, because all this time you are oriented into fear. And that kept you going, although it kept you stressful. You know, some people, at least 6 people in my life, at least I got all the 6 faces here. Okay, I want to tell you something, Father. What? I'm not feeling too well. I said, what happened? It's a psychological problem. I said, what's the psychological problem? You know what they said? I have no stress. They were not used to living without stress. And when stress disappeared, they were stressed that they had no stress. It's true. It's true. Because they can't just suddenly and this happens very often to people who are retired. They are achieving and goal-oriented and then finally they have an office party. Bye. Then they come. Now I have to live with this wife 24/7. So they can't adjust to that. So his wife is saying, I will give you you have made a lot of money. Come honey, let us go on a cruise. You on your damn cruise. so she's trying to bring him all back and try to be good to him. And he wants to be stressed out, so he has a fight with her because he loves stress. So all his life he has been stressed. I'm trying to tell you this. Prepare yourself right now by doing nothing, having no goals, having no ambition, having no appointments, nothing. Just be. And allow yourself to live a stress-free life. You know why? Because you have a whole eternity where you will be stress-free. And if you don't accept a stress-free life for the whole of eternity, you will create your own hell and go there. This is good, I like to be burnt the whole time. It's true, it's true, it's true. So learn now to be without stress. Learn now to be without worry. Because in heaven, there is no worry, there is no stress. So, are you going to tell, oh God, I love my stress, please give me some stress. I can't live without my stress. I can't live without my indigestion. I can't live without sweating it out. I can't live, I want to achieve. God is saying, no. To the wrong place. If you want, go to hell. So, all relationships that are based in fear. What is a relationship that is based on fear? It is constantly judging, constantly condemning. All fear-based relationships, even if without telling you, they are having it in their hearts. Fear, the whole pastime of fear is to find some fault in you. So therefore, tell yourself, this person is finding fault in me because she is afraid. Now you don't add to that, you just smile and say, nothing wrong with me. She's operating from fear, she or he is operating from fear, so I can do nothing about it except give that person love. If I can, and if I can't give, withdraw from the whole thing and say, I'm not strong enough, my light is not strong enough to take away the darkness from that person, so I'll withdraw for some time, go into the ICU, get all the needles and things and all, become healthy again, and then face that person. So very often we are weak. As you get into the spiritual life, you'll be much weaker than those people who have based their life on fear, because your love is now in an infant stage. So the infant stage of your love now will confront the old age or the mature age of the person who has fear. And so baby love and middle age love, so the baby will run away. So you have to have that discernment to tell yourself, my love is still a baby. I don't have my love strong enough to stand in front of the darkness. But I'm not going to confront the darkness, I'm going to withdraw from it. So we have to learn to withdraw. And Jesus also did that. When confronting darkness 2-3 times, he left the place and went. He never said, I'm going to change all of you. Nothing. He said, this is too much for me. Now let me go. So he left one village, went to the other village. We try our best, because of fear, we try our best to hold on to all relationships. And this is the relationship we have with our family, and I'll go to some insane things. The relationship that we have with animals and with our pets. I really don't know what I'll do without my cat. So some people are so scared. I don't know what I'll do without my 12 dogs. Yeah, 12. Yeah, because they all want company and all. And I feel so good to have all of them and all. There is one lady, again, who was living in our parish some time back. You all don't know her. So she and her husband, she gets food stamps. She gets, what is that? She goes to that church, this church, this church, this church, collects money from all. Was living here, now I think she shifted, was living here, and I knew her, and I knew the man she was living with. So going all around collecting. She spent $300 to $400 on her pets after begging from all this institute. $300 to $400, and her husband was crying and telling me. That's how I came to know the secret. And another $150 on cigarettes. So $450. And she doesn't go around. She sends her husband, and her husband has got a stroke, so he goes. Or he was going. Can you imagine the fear that he has? And he has the fear of leaving her. So he's going around and making a miserable life. And she has 4 dogs on whom she spent $300 and another $150 on this. And he's saying, my whole time he's saying, I'm going to all the churches. And she's chasing him, go there, get the $150 more. Can you see that? Relationships always find fault. And he wants her not to find fault with him. And so he keeps on feeding her and feeding her and feeding her. Otherwise she goes into a fit. So, are you willing therefore to set these people free and to be freed from these people by putting your plug in the right socket? As simple as all that. As simple. When are you going to do that? I am the light of the world. He who who follows me will have the light of life and will not walk in darkness. Then he says, you are the light of the world. If you don't do that now, so here you have a fear-based relationship and love-based relationship. Love-based relationships are all based on putting your plug into Christ. Fear-based relationships are all based on judgment, condemnation, finding fault. If this love-based relationship is based on God, the fear-based relationship is based on what? What is the opposite of God? So, my dear friends, all the relationships that we have are idols. If they are not based, if you are not plugged into the right spot. They now take the place of love-based relationship are based on God. Fear-based relationship are based on idols. So this man becomes my idol. This man becomes my idol. I can't live without you. The dog becomes an idol. The food becomes an idol. The situation becomes an idol. So if you call anybody, I think you're an idol worshipper. Come on, Father, something wrong with you. I go to church. I worship Jesus. I receive Holy Communion. Then I have to explain to them what's the meaning of idol worship. Then some of them get it. So again here it's good for, I'm putting it in a brutal fashion. Are you an idol worshipper or are you the worshipper of the one true God? All that you have to do. And yet, this is not a permanent behavior with us. We are not permanently doing this 24/7. Because if you were doing this 24/7, you would not be here. It is because certain moments of your life, you have jumped out of fear. You have got into another way of, maybe during meditation, maybe during a nice dance that you're enjoying, the freedom of moving your body, during a time of listening to beautiful music, during a time of going for a walk on the beach, during a time of watching babies jumping around and having good fun, during that time, maybe you felt this. You felt this. You felt a certain type of fulfillment. And that is what we are hungering for, because you got a taste of it. If you didn't have a taste of real love, you would not go after it. But because you have someone, all of us have tasted this love, and then we have gone back to the idols. But the love of God is like the Hound of Heaven, the beautiful book written by Thompson. He wrote a book, The Hound of Heaven, and he writes this, that the Hound of Heaven is always chasing us. He's got the scent, and he can chase us. So the Hound of Heaven never rests until it finds us. And then that Hound of Heaven chases us and gives us chances to meet real love. And we can now, once you get that feeling of when you felt totally free, when you felt you were not obligated to anyone, when you felt like a child. Unless you become a little child, you cannot enter the kingdom of heaven. When you felt that in your heart, go again to the memory of that and relive that and become again. So if you do it over and over again, your pattern of living a stressed life will slowly get blown away like the cloud, and there will be a clear sky and your true nature will show. Are you ready to do that? This thing happens, another time it happens. Another time this love, we allow the love to beat us, is when we finally decide somehow to take away all dramas from our life. From today onwards, no drama. I'm not a reality star. And nobody is there with a camera making a notice of my drama. No drama. From where does drama come? Drama comes because some or one of your needs has not been addressed. So then you have a drama. Now once you get, this is actually an eye-opening thing. So every time you are now getting into a drama, it's time for you to say, I'm getting into a dramatic mode of emotion. I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to shout, I want to scream, what need of mine is not being addressed? Get that. This need of mine is not being addressed, it is not being satisfied, it is not. And at that moment when you find, then you tell yourself, what do I really need? I need only God. What do I really need? And then you will think, oh my gosh, these are idols and I was worshipping an idol thinking I need it in my life. Let us go into this fear-based relationships. One of the fruits of clinging on to fear-based relationship, family, brother, father, mother, sister, and clinging on to that is because we are afraid, we are fearful of being do anything but don't abandon me. Do anything but don't abandon me. We are afraid of being abandoned, whether we like it or not. Sometimes the water comes up to here. Then you say, okay, abandon, I care a damn, I prefer abandonment than to drowning in this mess. When you move out and you say, and when you move out, that feeling of abandonment goes and you feel peaceful and you feel joyful and you feel an inner strength that this is me now without any plug-in to anybody. And that's a moment when you begin to ignite your own light and become a light to the world. And these people know because they have been there with me for a long time. I had the same kind of relationship with my brother. I loved him with my whole heart, soul and everything. And I thought we would never break up. Every Sunday I used to go about 80-90 miles, spend a day with him and come back. One day it happened that I gave away my fear of having no brother, something like that. And everybody is asking me, Father, now you don't go to your brother's house. I said, no, we just parted ways. He has his own journey to make. I have my own journey to make. And I love him, everything. But the time had come for us, for me at least, to move on. And I feel good about it. You feel good about leaving your brother? I said, yeah, I don't know why, but I feel good. So, and I always, this is another thing, I always speak from personal experience. So it is not everything that I tell you for all my life is somewhere I have experienced it, or somewhere I have seen people in this mess and tried to get them out, and I have succeeded. So we have this, we cling to our relationship because we don't want to be abandoned. And once you get that, I'm clinging to this relationship because I don't want to be abandoned, and you accept that, then the truth you have accepted the truth. I'm afraid of being abandoned, and the truth will set you free. The shackles are gone, the relationship is gone, there is no hard feeling, there is no judgment, there is no condemnation, but then you have suddenly says, all I have now is me and God, and that what matters. Remember that. So, nothing you say can bring love to you. Nothing you think can bring love to you. Nothing you do can bring love to you. And the opposite also is true. Nothing you don't say can take love away from you. Nothing you don't think can take away love. Nothing can take away love from you, and nothing can bring love to you. You know why? Because love is already in you, and you are not taking notice of it. So nothing can increase your love. Nothing can decrease God's love for you. We have to remain in that perfection. God's love for me is perfect. It cannot be increased, because if it can be increased, then it is not perfect. Oh God, please love me. Come on, God is saying, I love you perfectly, 100%, but I don't feel it. And that's your headache. If you don't feel it, get into the mode of feeling it by withdrawing from fear and getting there. Hello. Baptism class. Today no baptism class. It was yesterday.
Yesterday? I have it for today.
Okay, but it's not here. So where was I? So because love is totally given to us every moment, never withdrawn. So nothing you do can take away love from you. Nothing can. Nothing you do can make love come to you in the form that you want it to come. Try to get that. Nothing you do can make love come to you in the form that you want it to come. For example, let us take, so your Sherry wants love to come to her through this man. It cannot come. In the form that you insist, love doesn't come. Love comes to you in the form of God, not in the form that you have decided it should come. So many people say, I have no experience of God. So I asked them then, what's the next? I said, how do you mean, what do you want an experience of God to be? Experience of God should be, I should feel nice, I should feel embraced by Him, blah, 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 blah. So they have already decided how God should behave with them. So, but if you open your eyes and all your senses, here He is, here He is, here He is, here He is. God desires to come to you in your daily life, but you are saying, no, take me out of this life and show me something supernatural. God is saying, this is all supernatural. But you have decided, no, this is natural. So, love can never come to you in the form that you insist that it comes. When you give up the desire to possess love, when you give up the desire to shape love according to your concepts, when you give up the desire to make love do what you want it to do, and then you just walk in the way of love, in perfect allowing the 5 things I told you: intention, allowing, surrender, humility. If you allow love to be with you, it will be with you. So allowance is a great thing in spirituality. And now I'll give you a prayer. And this is a prayer, I think, from one of the saints, most probably. I don't remember. This is from Saint Jerome. Saint Jerome was a guy who translated the Bible a long time ago from Greek into Latin. So it was called the Vulgate Bible, which means the Bible meant for the ordinary people, for the vulgar people. So it was a Vulgate Bible, and he took a long time, and he made a deep study, and in the study he grew personally attached to Christ. So after he had finished, it seems he had a vision of Christ, and Christ said, "You have written beautifully about me. What can I give you?" And Jerome fell to the ground and said, "I want only you, Lord. I want only you." He had no other thing. "I want only you." So we are going to write this prayer. I'll send it. I'm going to send this to you. All I want is you, my love. So all I want is you, my love. This prayer was, I told you, written by Jerome. I think so. I have always received you and only you. But now I know that I am the same love as you. First he said, "I am the light of the world," and then he said, "You're the light of the world," the same light. And with Christ I say, the Father and I are one. And just for you to know, this is the foundation of my life. Long ago I accepted it as, and I put my whole meaning and spirituality, and all the spirituality and all comes from this. And the two visions I had. You all read in the bulletin those 2 visions I had?
Is that
Yeah, those 2 dots.
Those 2 dots, right?
Yeah, and before that there was another one, the broken cup.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
So I was desperate, and I think now I think 6 weeks is going in the bulletin. One of the desperate points of my life, and I was trying to do something very bad with my life, and I went down, and I saw one hand. Well, I was half asleep, half awake, and there was a nice cup, like a porcelain Chinese cup, very thin, and it was going round, and it was showing itself like, very proud, see who I am. And then it jumped and fell to the ground. And in my dream I'm looking at it and fell to the ground. My gosh, that's terrible. I said, now it will never be, that is a priceless treasure. And I don't know why all priceless treasures are so fragile. They can't make them strong. It should have bounced back. But then from the side a hand comes, that same hand comes, picks up all the pieces and puts it together beautifully, and there it is, the same cup, beautifully there. And I'm trying to make sense of that in my dream. What happened? Who's that hand and who's that? That guy must be a really excellent craftsman to put the broken pieces together and make it new. And this line of scripture came to me in my dream. Behold, I make all things new. That also is one of the foundations of my life. Behold, I make. So every time I fell and made a mess of my life, made me new again. Then like an idiot I fall down again, and again he gathers me and makes me whole again. So that is a beautiful thing. It has stood, I had this when I was in my late 20s, and it has stood by me in my life to know that, you know, whatever I may do, however much I may try to break myself, there is someone who will just not allow me to be broken, but will pick me up and build me up again. So that brings a kind of a confidence that I'm not alone. There's a hand behind everything in my life. So I can never be abandoned. I can never be kicked around. I can never be messed around. I can never be. And I can never do enough damage to myself that God cannot put me back together. The second dream I had, I put it again in the bulletin, was about, again, this after another 10 years or so, and there was a white board, and one dot started coming from here. Dot. And it is dancing. And I'm watching that dot and I can't focus on it, you know, small black dot on a white board. And from the other side another dot comes. And they're both dancing. I'm saying, in my dream I'm watching what those dots are doing. And as finally, say, 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, both those dots become only one dot. Only one dot. And again the message came. The Father and I are one. So beautiful. So, and if you are sensitive enough, you will also get these awakening process. You might be having something that give you a shake up, something that told you that you're not a random being. You're a special creature. You're a special one. That, you know, God is always putting you together because in His eyes, you're a priceless treasure that cannot afford to be broken. Okay, for today the class is over. I will send you this.
Thank you, Father.
Thank you, Father. I had when I was praying the other day, and I was praying like, you know, to bless all my brothers and sisters, my parents, all my family. And then I realized how much I really love them. And